Hey y'all, this is Big Country Survival. Um, it is Sunday, the Lord's Day, and it is even better than just a normal Sunday because in the great state of West Virginia, my home, don't want to live anywhere else. Um, in the great state of West by Virginia, tomorrow is opening day, deer season. It's actually kind of a bigger holiday, I think, than Thanksgiving. Probably not bigger than Christmas, but the whole opening week of deer season is like a bigger holiday than Thanksgiving for a lot of guys. um, so I'm pretty happy, pretty excited. I want to thank Mr. Trey Zell for giving me that shout out today. That was very nice. I certainly do appreciate that. And any of y'all that are not subscribed to my channel, from you know from his channel, all that are not recent subscriptions. Y'all, if you aren't subscribed to him, y'all go check him out. He just seemed like a good old boy to me. Just good old country living, which is best way to be, I think. Um, that dog winds up, what's the term, photo bombing, or whatever. She winds up getting in this video one way or the other. It's just either by noises or something. Um, but she's upset that she's over there and I'm here. um, a good dog. Anyway, so upcoming content, I want to hear from you guys if it's something that you would be interested. I'm probably going to be doing some cold packing for deer meat this year. Assuming the good Lord blesses my aim and I have good luck out there in the woods this week. I plan on cold packing at least a portion of the deer meat I get this year. A lot will probably get froze, but a good bit I'm planning on cold packing. And so if y'all want to see, I will try and get a video of that if that's something that y'all would be interested in seeing. Just leave a comment, let me know something you wanna check out. Also, field dressing deer. Again, this is all hinging on me actually getting deer this year. If that's something you haven't seen or you want to see how I do it, let me know in the comments if that's something you would be interested in seeing. It really ain't a whole lot to it. There really ain't much to it unless you gut shoot them, and then it's a bad day because, I digress. Um, so those are two things that I might be doing. Um, this, old country wisdom, I think is severely lacking in modern society. Um, I really do. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to tell you my age. I am 25 years old. I ain't that old. I was raised, in the woods, in the barn, on the farm, um, doing stuff that my grandparents did, my great grandparents did. And when I heard stories about my great grandparents and what they did surviving the Depression, I sat and I shut up and I listened. Um, and I took a lot of it to heart. Like, you know, I remember hearing about how, my grandma, she hated sheep. She had sheep, but she hated them because sheep are always born looking for a place to die. Their sheep are born looking for a place to die. They're just stupid animals. They really ain't smart. I've seen that prove true, and anything and everything will kill them. You've got that, and then down to their canning methods, and like my grandma wouldn't make a lot of jelly. My great grandma, she wouldn't make a lot of jelly because you don't want to waste the meat in the fruit. You don't want to waste that fruit, to make jelly, so you make a lot of jams. But now, like she would take and she'd make applesauce. She'd can applesauce because she had an orchard. And here's another bit of country wisdom. If you want to plant a dwarf, for every dwarf you plant on your property, you want to plant one of the regulars for posterity. Because them dwarfs, they'll come to maturity and they'll start bearing fruit a lot quicker than a regular. But about the time that regular tree is played out, that's when when that dwarf is about played out, that's when that regular is going to come in. So you want to keep it in that order. You want to have, when you plant a dwarf, you plant a regular. You plant a dwarf, you plant a regular. Don't matter what kind of tree it is. That's about how they work, because them dwarfs, they grow up real fast and they start bearing fruit a lot quicker, but they play out a lot quicker too. So you want to have you a regular. Something I've taken to heart in my life. I was trying to get to what she would do. She would make applesauce and can it, and then she would take the peelings. Because when you make applesauce, you got to peel the apple, right? And so she would take the peelings and she would make them into jelly. She'd cook them down and strain the juice and make them into jelly. So you got that. And then with jelly, when she would make jelly, she would not use new mason jar lids, because mason jar lids cost money, right? So she would use old mason jar lids on her jelly. Because the thing that a lot of people don't know, you can buy jelly. Jelly does not go bad. What jelly will do, jelly will eventually turn into sugar. When it gets air, it will mold. But only the part that gets exposed to the air will mold. So eventually, after you make jelly, even if you don't seal it properly, it will last a good while without molding. And eventually it will mold, but just the top. The top will mold, so you just go and you scrape the mold off, and then the rest is good underneath. Now, truth in advertising, when I make jelly, me and the wife, we use new mason jar lids. Ever comes down to it and grid down SHTF, you know what, we're still going to make jelly. Still going to make jelly, still going to make jam, and we're going to can. But we ain't going to be using new mason jar lids on that jelly. That's just a little, information. I mean, you don't need it. You don't need it. I mean, I don't want to have to scrape the mold off of it, but if I am out, grid down, we don't know when it's coming back. And I don't know when the grid's coming back, if it's coming back, what kind of way it's going to come back. I don't know if I'm ever going to get new mason jar lids. So I ain't going to waste them. I ain't going to waste my stock of them on something that don't need new mason jar lids. A little something to think about. The big jelly that I make, me and the wife, we make, is crab apple. Crab apples are pretty good. That's a tough, hardy, wild tree. You can eat them regular, they're a little bitter, kind of like a Granny Smith on steroids, but they ain't too bad. They're actually a good apple to chop up in pieces and put a little bit of salt on them, or just eat them regular. I do. I don't even, half the time when I go out there. I check them, when they're in season. I'd go out, and half the time I don't even what's the word? Um, I don't even cut the bee stings and the bug bites and stuff out of them. I just wipe it off on my shirt and good to go. I'm still kicking. Um, but I like the crabapple trees because they're a tough tree. I mean, like I said, they're wild, but I like having them. They're a tough tree. Had goats as a kid, and the goats killed about every apple tree that was on the property that they could get to. And they stripped the bark clear around as low down as they could go and as high up as they could go on a crabapple tree on the property that they could get to. And they stripped the bark clear around it, which I had always been taught. You strip the bark off of a tree clear around. That's how you kill a tree. And I mean, I kidding you, that bark was gone down to the ground and as high up as them goats could reach. They just ate the bark off of it. That sucker. Just this past summer, I was out there. I was helping my parents on their farm, and they had 7. They just took it out, shook it on a tarp, and they filled up 7 5-gallon buckets of crab apples. That's a tough tree right there. Now, this is just, stuff that I've learned by growing up, being a farm boy, growing up in the woods and in the barns, and I work the fields. I mean, I've got every year I grow tomatoes. That I'm the 7th generation of my family that has had these tomatoes. We've got 3 strains of tomatoes, heirloom seeds, and I'm the 7th generation. For 7 generations, we've grown tomatoes, saved the seed, grown tomatoes, saved the seed, etc. On clear up to me. And I've been working them things my whole life. I was, when I was at the point that I had a hard time figuring out what was a weed and what was a plant, I had to learn that. We all do. I still ain't got it all figured out. I'll tell you that. I'll be the first to tell you that. But no, I'm kind of rambling, I guess. I hope there was some good information in there. Anything you want an update on. I mentioned my Facebook page. I got a Facebook page up. Might be good for some more dialogue and things if you are on Facebook any. But if not, don't get involved in it. Don't fall down that rabbit hole. But I reckon that's about all I got to say. All you guys that are going to be out there hunting tomorrow, say a prayer for you. Good luck. Be safe. I plan on doing the same. Hopefully the Lord blesses us all with a good harvest. So here's Big Country Survival signing out. God bless.